Hello and welcome to Breakthrough.
Good morning, everybody.
How are we doing?
We're doing well. A new week, a new topic.
Yes, a new topic, new week, and we're happy to be here. Excited to be here today for this opportunity to discuss some events that we have coming up here through justice and spirituality, and just everybody is coming to the table for this one. And so this episode here is a bit of an awareness / a plug, a shameless plug for some great stuff we got going on that all are welcome to. And we're going to be hosting next week 2 webinars on Howard Thurman, the works of Howard Thurman, entitled Be Inspired, Engage the Work of Poet, Mystic, Theologian, and Spiritual Activist Howard Thurman. And these 2 webinars, which one will be during the day and one will be in the evening, and you could pick which one you'd like to go to, will then lead us to, in April, we're going to do a really big retreat day kind of keynote event with a special guest who's going to come and give us a deep dive into the works of Howard Thurman. Again, all of this is open and welcome to all, and we're really excited. And so I just wanted to use this platform here to just kind of share how this breakthrough came about and why Howard Thurman is someone we should be looking at. So I'll first jump in here and say, what's your experience with Howard Thurman, if any, and then what's it been like now that you have been hearing the whispers of this person?
Well, I was familiar with Howard Thurman, and I think so many people are familiar with his poem, when the Song of the Angels, because usually right after Christmas Day, you start to see it posted all over, the internet. It's that, when the Song of the Angels is stilled and the shepherds are back with their flocks, that's when the work of Christmas begins. Yeah. So people are just so familiar with that. But really what's amazing, well, there's many things amazing about Howard Thurman, poet, mystic, theologian, good man of God, is that he brought forth the first integrated interfaith religious congregation in the United States, about 2 decades before civil rights legislation was passed. So truly an inspiration for the movement, and particularly for Dr. King.
Yeah. One of the most noted pieces of Thurman's work in life is that he was a mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King. And that's kind of one of the things that often gets the thing that's thrown out there, and then everything else kind of gets lost because it becomes, okay, he mentored Dr. Martin Luther King. But his role is really interesting. And he's been called a spiritual activist of sorts, in the sense that he's always he's been involved in so many dialogues and so many conversations, but he hasn't necessarily always been in the front, holding the banner or giving his speech necessarily, but his words have been so vital to those who have. And he's inspired so many people. And so that was one of the things when the way that this came about was myself and folks from the Building Racial Resilience group were discerning, what are some things we could do for Black History Month? And then what are some things that we could do to continue an ever-growing dialogue about racism and about building racial resilience? And I forget how exactly, but his books were just kind of floating around, and this is Meditations of the Heart. We're just kind of floating around, and a few of us were like, wow, we should do something with this and dive into this. Because what I was noticing was people that I was greatly inspired by, sisters and different leaders, didn't know as much. Were very honest in saying, I don't know as much about him as I should possibly. And so that kind of got my light bulb on of saying, like, oh, maybe we should do something about that and we should work on that. And then so this little group got together here and we've been working on it. And we've all been getting to know him and then being prepared to then share this with others. And it's been really lovely. He's a really interesting person.
Yeah. And more recently, I had the opportunity to pray with from The Inward Journey by Howard Thurman. He offers an imaginative contemplation on Jesus's temptation, which is so timely now for the season too. Yeah. And that, how subtly temptation can operate for good people. And there were 2 lines in that meditation that stuck out to me. The first being that out of the mouth of God, all good things come: truth and beauty, goodness and love. So whatever we're tempted by, not by bread alone, but it's all from God. And then the last one was a real zinger for me. If all the God in me, if all the God in me could serve the world, kings, kingdoms, earthly rulers, all would disappear. And then in that place, the mind of God would sit enthroned. So in that meditation, how he's inviting us to take on that mind and heart of God, and even with his whole pilgrimage of friends, when he went over to India with the group and met Gandhi, which was so, just the title of it, speaks to who he is, but his whole call of, in that a nonviolent embrace of how do we take on the mind and heart of God and be that for our world.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, the work that he's done and the way that he's literally and figuratively traveled the world and in his teachings is so powerful. And again, I'm so impressed and excited by. I'm excited whenever I bump into anyone who maybe isn't as well known as they should be, and we can sometimes sit there and go, why don't more people know about this or that? But then I always think, no, that's actually by the design of God. Is that it's not everything is maybe meant to be widespread in the moment. It's that idea of it lasting the test of time, and it keeps coming up in the word, because that's true seeds, right? That's true growth. And so I always get excited. And to me, it's like the way of St. Joseph. It's like this quiet little voice that's always going to be there. And it seems like Thurman's work is that towards racial justice. It's just always there, always inspiring. And so it's really exciting to offer these opportunities. And I'll get specific here for a moment. You can go to the Sisters of St. Joseph website to register for these two opportunities under the events tab. It's called Be Inspired. And it's Tuesday, the 27th of February at 1:30, and then or Wednesday, the 28th at 7 p.m. So you have either of those options. They're going to be an hour. It's a tight presentation we have prepared. No work required. Just jump on in, tune in, and be able to take in the information and be inspired. And then that'll lead us to on April 20th, which is a Saturday. We're going to have a day-long retreat opportunity here on the grounds with a special guest who's an expert on Thurman's work. We're flying him in. We're really excited, and we'll have the details for that soon. But that'll be a wonderful opportunity to spend a whole day engaging with this and growing in this experience. So we're really.
And if you're inspired, you can go to both. Next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's for sure. But I think just coming together, the group of you that are coming together to plan this, that is going to uncover, and put more of Howard Thurman's wisdom, and energy out there. So people will pick up on that, because that's the energy that's going to go out there, and there's going to be a growing awareness. And definitely April 20th will be in the Easter season. It's perfect day to gather and be inspired, with a good group of people and an expert know this.
Yeah, Dr. Phillip Johnson's his name, and we've had numerous calls with him, and his energy is awesome. He's from Western Michigan University. He's a professor there. He actually has experience. He was at NYU for many, many years.
How did you come upon him?
We just did a bunch of research, and the group found a few folks who were experts on Thurman's work. It's kind of a little field out there. And we found this one person who then directed us to Phillip and said, "This is the guy you want," and she was really eager to say, no, this would be the best way, which I always love that. I love when you meet people and they have the humility to say, I'm not the right fit. This person is. And then we had these great conversations with him, and he was so excited. And he was really excited too, to learn more about the charism of the sisters through this opportunity.
Wonderful.
A little bit that he already knows about, but then he was eager to learn more. And so, it's been, the whole process has been really, really awesome. So
it's great. We'll have to study him too and look him up.
Really, really kind person. So we'll end here today with just reading a piece from Thurman's book here, Meditations of the Heart, which is one of his more famous isn't the right word, but it's one of his more well-known works, but it's also not that easy to find.
Mhm.
Some of his stuff is still out there being published, but it's not. It's a little bit more uh, hard to find, but it's special when you do, and it's worth it too. But this is a collection of different prayers, poems, meditations, texts, and some of it's pretty deep, can give you a lot to think about. But this one's called "How Wonderful," and so we'll leave you with this. How wonderful. I lay bare before God my enthusiasms. How wonderful it is to be able to feel things deeply. The sheer delight of fresh air when you have been indoors all day. The never-ending wonder of sunrise and sunset. The sound of wind through the trees and the utter wetness of the rain. The excitement of finding something that was lost and is found. My fountain pen. A beautiful word forgotten. The return of an old book. The reconciliation after estrangement. The first step after months of illness. How moving is the sheer wonder of being necessary to the life of another. The source of food for a dog, a cat. The giving of a gentle word when you did not know that such a word was desperately needed. The sharing of so little at the crucial point of acute urgency. The invasion of the mind and heart with a sense of presence in which all of one's being suddenly becomes God's dwelling place. I lay bare before God my enthusiasms this day.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's cool, right?
Right. Amazing how what appears to be the little things in life make the big difference, right?
Yeah, I love it. And when you read it too, it helps. I mean, it reminds you, feed your dog and cat too. It's great. Sometimes you need a little reminder of it.
That's right. That's right. Every being is important. Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. Wonderful. Great.
So great. We hope to see you next week on one of the Zoom webinars. Jump in there and register on the website, and it should be a wonderful time. So
great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week, and we hope to see you next week.
Yes.